Definition. Definition. A bar chart, also called a bar graph, is a visual representation of data using rectangular bars. Its bar length of height is proportional to the value its representation. Bar the chart are used to compress different category or group of data, making it easy to see different patterns a glance.
Okay, so is common process. The first one, you can introduction. For the example is, let's take a look at this chart. And then 2, describing the axis. For the example, this horizontal axis, x-axis represent blank blank blank. And then the vertical axis or y-axis show temperature or percent. And then the unit of measurement is in blank blank blank. And then 3 is highlighting key data. For the example, the most shrinking point is blank blank blank. And then 4 is making comparison. For the example, blank 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 is twice as large as blank blank blank. And then 5 is explaining the trend. For the example, remaining constant or stable at blank blank blank. And then last one, 6 is concluding. For the example, in summary, this data show blank blank blank.
I'm going to explain how to present a bar chart effectively. 1. Introduction. A bar chart is a type of graph that shows data using rectangular bar. It's often used to compare different categories or groups. To make your presentation effective, you should follow a clear structure consisting of an introduction, an overview, a detailed description, a comparison, a conclusion, and some useful tips. Number 2, overview. In the overview, you give a general summary of what the chart shows. You should mention the main trend. For example, which category is the high and which one is the lowest, whether there are any noticeable patterns or differences. This part should not include too many numbers. It only gives the audience a clear big picture before you go to detail. For example, you may say, overall, cold coffee sales were the high, while hot coffee had the lowest sales. Number 3, detailed description. Next, in detailed description, you describe the data more specifically. Here, you can mention exact number, comparison, and changes. It's also good to use linked words like whereas, however, in contrast, or similarly to connect your sentence smoothly. For example, you could say cold coffee sales reached about $950 million, while non-coffee beverages made $600 million. Snack followed with $450 million, and merchandise reached $300 million. By examining the data clear, your audience can easily understand the key message behind the chart.
The next step is comparison. At this stage, we compare the data between categories or time periods. This helps the audience see the difference more clearly. For example, in June, sales of product A were almost double those of product C. And next step is conclusion. In this part, we summarize the main findings from the chart. For example, to conclude, product A shows strong and consistent growth, while product C had the lowest performance. And the last is tips for presenting a bar chart. So, when presenting a bar chart, remember to speak clearly and confidently. Use linking words such as first, next, then, and finally to make your explanation smooth and organized. Focus on the main trends, not every single number, and use your hand or pointer to guide the audience attention.
The bar chart illustrates Starbucks product sales by category in the first quarter of 2024, measured in millions of US dollars. As shown, hot coffee generated the highest sales at 1.2 billion US dollar, making it the company's best performing product segment. This indicates that traditional coffee beverages remain the core strength of Starbucks business. Cold coffee follows with around 915 million US dollar, reflecting the growing popularity of iced beverages, especially in warmer regions. Meanwhile, non-coffee drinks such as teas and refresher reach 16 million US dollar, showing moderate but consistent demand from non-coffee consumers. Snacks and food item contributed 450 million US dollar, supporting Starbucks' strategy to encourage food pairing with beverages. Finally, merchandise and other products recorded the low sales at 300 million US dollar. Yet, this category still provides opportunities for brand engagement through retail products. Overall, the chart highlights how Starbucks revenues is still heavily driven by its coffee-based product, while diversification into non-coffee and retail items continues to develop as part of its broader business growth strategy.